Hi.
Hello and welcome to today's open house. We are doing this open house in the Conquer Network to celebrate National Women's Small Business Month. We've been doing these sessions all month long, and so far we've had 7 guest experts in mental wealth, wellness, and business in supporting us to build mental wealth and business, which is what we do here at the Conquer Network. So I just want to first celebrate you all that are here. Congratulations on being a business owner or aspiring business owner, and welcome to today's session. If you'd like to share, you can come off of mute when we do questions, or you can comment in the chat box. You can go ahead and share your name, your business, and your location, because you never know where you might get your next connection or your next client. So welcome. So today for our Conquer class, we are doing a Conquer class that's really important. And it's important because when we think about running a business, it gets emotional. And oftentimes in business coaching communities, we forget about the emotions behind running the business, the entrepreneur. So we focus very much on the entrepreneur here, in addition to business skills. But one of the things that affect us very much is grief. If you are here and you've lost someone, whether recently or even throughout this pandemic, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat. Let us know who's here. And a loss can be not just loss by death. People have shared with me that they've lost their clients. People have lost loved ones, meaning they got divorced. They've lost friendships. They've lost connections to family. A lot has happened. So grief can take so many forms. And the best person to speak about grief is Nurse Keanna Hinds, who is the founder of the Toni Foundation. And she is a grief counselor here to help us learn how to manage grief while running your business. So welcome, Keanna.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for making it to the Conquer Network. As Ms. Seneca has said, my name is Keanna Hinds. I am a registered nurse. And let me share my screen. I am very nervous, guys.
It's all good. We're all here together with you, supporting you. We are all in this place together. So don't even worry about being nervous. It's a conversation and you're really helping us. You're helping us to deal with grief. So like I said in the chat box, go ahead. If you've lost someone this year and you feel comfortable to share who you've lost, go ahead and share that in the comments. All right, Keanna, take it away.
You guys can see my screen okay, right?
Yes, we can see you.
All right. So thank you again, the Conquer Network, for inviting me on this platform. I am going to tell you guys more about myself as we go along, but I was invited here to discuss managing your grief while building a business, right? So my goal is, I'm hoping that this presentation could help you along your personal journey, whether through your own grief, assisting someone else, going through their grief. You're just curious and want to be of support, or you're just here, to show some love, regardless of what it is. I appreciate you being here. I do want you all to be comfortable, find a good seat, get a pen and paper, because I do want you to jot down some notes. And just a disclaimer, like Seneca mentioned, this can be a bit emotional. So as much as it is emotional, I am going to try to make it fun because I don't want us all crying, okay? Like the goal is to keep the flow going, all right? So, all right, before we begin though, I wanted everybody, I know I can't see you guys, to put your hands up. Everybody, raise your hands. Raise your hands, raise your hands, raise your hands, raise your hands. All right, now shake them. Everybody shaking? Shaking, shaking? All right, stop. Okay, so now you can never say that I never shook your hand. We are going to begin. I am starting this off with a prayer, okay? I am a firm believer that words are powerful, and speaking over positivity and self-love over yourself is a key, right? To anything. The more we speak over our lives, positivity, the more it will come to pass, okay? So May the universe guide my words to help bring peace, understanding, clarity, and hope to each of you all in your individual situation. And may God continue to bless us all as we continue along in our life's journey. Okay. So as promised, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about myself. Okay. I'm Keanna, like I stated. I am originally from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised, but my family is from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have some heavy roots there. Also have a little bit of roots in Trinidad, so Caribbean based. I am a registered nurse. I've been a nurse since 2011, and I have experience ranging from geriatric to hospice palliative care, right up to case management, okay? I am a mother. I have an 8-year-old daughter named Kendall Nicole, who I will tell you about a little bit more about in a few. She's also my business partner. And I also have a 15-year-old Yorkie, right, which is 105 dog years, Polo de Don. Okay, he drives me crazy, but he is definitely my child. I am also a comedian. Yes, I am. They used to call me Kavina Hart in my past life, and no, you may not get an autograph, okay? I am a healer, right? And I like to call myself a healer because healing is constant, right? There's no end. So I am constantly healing in my journey along with you as well. And I'm also a faith restorer. My hope is that if any faith has been lost along your journey, it can be restored after hearing my story and testimony here today, okay? So pleasure meeting you guys. I'm Keanna. So obviously I wouldn't be invited here if I didn't have a business, right? So I'm going to tell you guys what my business is and how my journey has transitioned over the years, okay? So before becoming a certified grief counselor, in 2017, I started Candy's Corner, and it is a marketing and journalism company that helps bridge the gap between small business owners in New York up to the world, right? By the use of words. Sorry. I promoted ads and I provided free ads and promotion to business owners to help and using via social media and also other outlets in the community. And that helped bring awareness to my brand and also their brand, right? At this time in my life, my personal circle was shifting and I ended up surrounding myself with a whole bunch of entrepreneurs. And it was just amazing to see these people, movers and shakers in the world, doing all of these things. And I wanted to be a part of it, right? And I knew that I could help with the use of my words. So I offered the free services for them just to sort of bring awareness. And by that, we ended up building a connection, right? So how do you go from interviews and ads to grief counseling? I'm so happy you guys asked. So this beautiful woman on the screen is my mother, Miss Toni Rose. She's born in January 24th, Aquarius, and she passed away in June 15th of 2018. Okay. So in 2018, my mom was murdered in her homeland of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So we were actually all there for a funeral. My grandmother had passed 2 weeks prior. So we were there for her funeral and my mom stayed down to continue her bereavement and enjoy, life in the islands with her family. And this happened, right? I had already left. So when I got the news, I was already home and it forever changed the shape of my life, like totally. And ultimately changed my career goals as well without me even knowing at the time, right? My mother was literally an angel on earth, and her death sparked something in me that I really can't even put into words, right? So now I'm gonna put on the grief counselor hat. All right. Has anyone ever heard of the complicated grief before? You could type in the chat or unmute yourself and just let me know if anyone. I can't see the chat, so this is your part, Monica. If not, I can go ahead and explain.
Yes, go ahead and explain. Danielle says yes, Danielle says yes, Victoria says no. So
Okay.
yes, go ahead and explain complicated grief.
So complicated grief and traumatic bereavement, they can be used interchangeably, okay? But the official definition of traumatic bereavement is the state of having suffered the loss when grief and mourning over the death is complicated or overpowered by a traumatic experience, right? So this can obviously, in my case, this was a murder, but it can go from a car accident, drowning, anything that, has taken someone away from you abruptly can categorize as complicated grief or traumatic bereavement, right? So it's a different path as far as healing journey, but honestly, anybody's healing journey in grief is different, right? Despite how someone passes away, grief continues to leave loved ones with that one common factor, right? Which is what? Pain, right? Unfortunately. So this is my mom, Dukes. This slide, and this is something being transparent, triggered me when I made it. I had to stop. It was a lot. And I'm gonna get into triggers later, but I'm being transparent because I know I come off as strong, but we have weak moments. So. I can't see the chat, but I know Seneca asked everyone if you are mourning someone or grieving someone, or you just want to, show love to someone that has passed away, to put a 1 in the chat. I would like for you guys to let me know if you are. So if it's someone specific, if you're just here to support someone, I am very firm on saying their names before Sandra Bland, but I was saying her name then too. But it's very important to highlight and keep that person that you're grieving alive, right? You're feeling this way for the rest of your life because this person has impacted you so much. So why do you feel like if you cannot speak on their names anymore, right? Keep them alive by speaking their names. So let me know if anyone wants to share someone, and I would like to have like a little 10-second moment of silence. So I'm gonna share my mom and my dad, Keanna and Toni. Does anyone else have?
I'm going to share Vita Williams Lane.
Okay.
You can type it in the chat if you don't feel comfortable saying it out loud, but you can type it in the chat. Sarita says, my grandma, Barbara. Kay Bartley says, Luther Llewellyn. I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. Victoria says, Dr. Major Tappan.
I'll share Claret Douglas and Arlie Douglas.
Okay.
Thank you. Dana says, my grandmother Rose, my grandfather Raphael, and my father Alan. Afua says, my father Kweku, TK Mensa.
Thank you so much for sharing. So let's do 10-second moment of silence for our fallen soldiers and angels that have passed on. All right, thank you guys. So how are you coping? How you guys cope?
There was one more in here, Carmen Francois, my grandmother from Edwin.
Okay, my condolences. My condolences. So how do you guys cope? You can drop in the chat or unmute. Just shoot some ways of what ways have you guys learned that you're coping with your grief on a day-to-day basis? Can you think of anything?
Okay, Edwin says staying busy.
Mm-hmm.
Prayer and hope. Kay Bartley says working out.
Yes, awesome. Okay, so I've highlighted 3 major factors I think are detrimental to helping to cope with your grief in general, if you're a business owner or not. I feel like these 3 have helped me substantially over the years. So number one, and this is number one because it's the most important one, acknowledgement and understanding. So grief can keep you in a state of like unbelief, right? You don't believe it. It's unbelievable. You have to believe eventually, right? Because you're going to be unbelievably believing forever and never passing that point of your life. So acknowledging and understanding and accepting that grief can trigger many different, right, and unexpected emotions at any time is number one. I am big on like education. So when I think that's how I ended up getting into grief counseling, because I did not understand what was happening to me. And I didn't have the resources or like so I don't have the support that other people I thought maybe did. So I did research and I'm like, okay, it got to be more to this. I got to understand why I feel like this, you know? I'm going to be referencing grief is a roller coaster often through this presentation. And I think, sorry, that fact alone is what really drew me to really dive deep in what was happening to me, because it was happening so crazy. It was just like, what's happening? So the goal, all in all, right, even on if you're on that roller coaster ride, because it's dips and it's right, is to come back. The roller coaster eventually lands, right? It comes back to the state of stop. It's like a plateau. No one's saying this is happy land, but you're at it, you're rested and you're safe. So how I look at it is you need to figure out what can get you back to that plateau level, okay? What can you do to help ensure and bring yourself back, okay, to that level? So number two, I take that self-care. So grief sometimes can cause you to lose yourself, right? Sometimes you don't even realize you didn't take a shower in 3 days, you didn't eat in 4, you know, you name it. You guys could drop in the chat some of the things that have happened to you after you lost someone that you didn't. Now looking back, you realize that you were doing. You know, you wore the same sweatpants. I mean, I do that now, if not grieving, but still wear the same sweatpants for like a week and a half. Just real dramatic thing, right? Things. You have to know that you have to support yourself emotionally, right? By taking care of yourself physically. It goes hand in hand. It's just like even when you can't concentrate because you're in a dirty room, right? You got to clean. You have to clean your space in order for you to actually focus on whatever you have to do. So it's the same thing with your body. For self-care, what do you guys do for self-care routines? My go-to is sleep. I am sleep, okay? Find me anywhere. You're gonna find me in the bed sleep. There's so many healthy self-care routines, right? Like journaling. You drop in the chat some things you do. Kamal mentioned working out, you know, food, eating a good meal, phoning a friend, right? All of those things we take for granted actually releases endorphins that help us feel better. Okay, and all of those little things can help you get back to the landing, okay, to the plateau. All right. So,
okay, so it says music and meditation.
yes,
Definitely.
music definitely.
Good cry. Yep, a good cry helps. Sarita said a good cry helps.
Yeah, a good cry does help. A good cry in the car, right, Sarita? All right. And 3, I have support. So seek out face-to-face support for people who care about you. So there's grief counseling, there's therapy sessions, there's bereavement and support groups, there's mental health communities. You go on Facebook, you can type in grief and it's a whole whirlwind of like resources, right? But in all actuality, all of us have lost someone. We know how we feel when we are grieving. You don't want to be around people, right? So that's the reality of it. So it's definitely no pressure. I think it was just good to know that these things are for, you know, they're out there. So right now I may be feeling like, oh my God, nobody cares, nobody understands, but there is a phone number I can call, you know, there is an option. I'm just feeling like this right now, but when I'm ready, I'm going to make that call. I didn't get into therapy until like maybe 2 or 3 years after my mom. And it takes time, you know, I wasn't ready at the time. You're not going to be ready right when things happen. It's sort of just going to feel, but just know the options are out there, okay? Okay, well, this is rest and reset, right? So let's recap. What's been happening on our journey so far. So we started this small business, right? We are busy little bees getting our things together. We got our social media page, we got our website, we got our product. We still trying to figure out money, but you know, it's flowing, stuff is coming together, right? And then you get a phone call. The inevitable has happened, right? Somehow grief has hit and your whole life is turned upside down, right? Everything that you know used to look at, you know, or like, you don't like anymore. Stuff that used to glimmer is not glimmering. No one cares. You feel lonely, right? But I'm letting you know that those feelings do not have to last, right? You don't have to stay in that feeling of despair for long. Everyone grieves differently, right? But there's usually a period of rest and reset that occurs while grieving, where the person literally takes time to rest, reflect, and reset, okay? And this may look different amongst everyone, and there's no time frame of how long it could last, but I do think this time is detrimental to healing. Unfortunately, you are not the same person you were before this grief. You're not the same business owner you were either, right? So we have to use this time to become familiar with this new normal, right? And prepare for our new future. So I like to also coin this as the cocoon phase, right? So the same way your employer allocates bereavement days, and we all know we need more than 3 days bereavement days, right? But we're not going to get into that because that's another, that's another topic. But as a business owner, you have to take time for yourself too. It's detrimental to your success. So again, I'm going to say this again, everyone does things differently. You know, one person could probably take a day off and head back to work because, like someone said in the comments, staying busy is what helps them get over their hurdles, right? And if someone may need to take 3 months off before they can actually get back on, so it doesn't matter. There's no time frame. So the horizon after the storm. Is there any questions or? Okay. So now that we're all rested, yawn, right? It's time to get busy, right? Right, get busy, get back on track. Because I took a break, it doesn't mean that I'm still not in pain, right? Like, okay, so I slept for 6 months. That person is still dead and I'm still hurt, right? But if you're not aware, there are stages of grief. Kubler-Ross actually created them. They're really 5, but I found this chart online and I thought it was amazing to share because it breaks down so many different aspects of it, right? Like he subcategoried the 5 stages of grief. And I love that it's an actual curve because what does it look like? Grief is a what? Roller coaster, and it sure does look like a roller coaster, right? So where do you guys think the horizon after the storm would go on this curve? Where do you think that moment of like, okay, I've rested, it's time for me to get my life together because money's low or whatever? Where do you think? Would it be around anger and fear, around loneliness? Drop in the chat or unmute and let me know. What you guys say? I can't see the chat.
Okay, it's all good. So Daniel says regarding re-entry troubles. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Sorry if I'm not. Victoria says the incline, re-entry troubles as well. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So I think it should have been a space. I think it should have been depression, troubles, and then re-entry. I'm not sure. I don't know if re-entry trouble was supposed to be, but yes, you guys are right. I think in between re-entry and new relationships, because at that point, right, you are, now looking to start you're forming new relationships, right? Hopefully you joined a church or something like that. Maybe you did do some therapy if you met somebody at a session, and now you're seeing new aspects of life, right? So this is usually the time where it's like, okay, I can see that things are happening. Let me see if I can get back to what I was doing prior. Okay. Good job, guys.
Shawnee says, I would say around searchings. searchings. Yeah.
So that's interesting. And that's also, I mean, you can, because again, with the thing with stages of grief, there's no time frame, and it's not to say you have to go in order either. You know what I mean? I honestly feel like I probably did start the rising after the storm after searching, because baby, having a whole business like a year after losing my mom, you know, the loneliness aspect, I lost my whole e-board. I had an e-board built, and like everybody dissipated because I didn't form my new relationships yet. So I still was dealing with a lot of people from my past, and as a new person, you know, now I'm building this whole foundation, and I care so much about grief. And no, so I think you might be right. And this is probably where the foundation came in, around searching. So that's an awesome perspective and highlight. Just note, you can be in any stage, anytime. It's no order and there's no time frame. So thank you for sharing. That's awesome.
Yeah. We also have here, Sarita says, I think I'm still going back and forth between re-entry and depression. Danielle says, grief is such a personal journey. We all go through different stages at different times. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Sarita, it's like that. You would go back and forth for a minute. I think I was in shock and denial for a good aspect of time too. And I was off from work when my mom passed. So that period of rest and reset, I think probably half of it, I was in shock. So you definitely can go back and forth. And like I said, it helped me to understand what I was going through and feeling, like to see it, like, okay, this is what's happening to me. So just give it time, and this too shall pass, okay? All right, so we got a new scenario, all right? So you were thinking of creating a business, and now your life is turned upside down by a sudden death, right? Do you even know the elements of creating a business? Like, there are so many entities that go into creating a business, but I do want to specifically shed light on 3 major ones that are detrimental to turning your pain into purpose, okay? So passion. Regardless if grief is a hurdle or not in your life, like if you have never lost anyone and you want to be a business person, a business owner, you need to have a passion. You need to have your why. I think that's on everybody's webinar, every business person out there, you need to know why you are doing this. You need to have your story, okay? This is so important to pinpoint through your grief, because this will be your driving force to help keep you going on those days you don't feel like going anymore, okay? So like with the foundation, and it's actually like my quote, I like to say, helping you helps me, because it does. So a lot of my, like, I've had super down days, and then a client would book, and it would like lighten me, you know, like, it's like, okay, I get to help somebody. So you have to find that passion, and it's gonna be the fuel that's gonna be the thing that's gonna help you get back on yourself. You know, and also because you know you got some work, right? Support. We're back to support again, right? So building a business is already as hard enough a task as it is, but it is not impossible to do at all. Who is going to be your support in this business? Do you even have support? Is this something you can accomplish by yourself? So there are a lot of single member business owners who do everything, right? From inventory to marketing to shipping to sales, right? It's so many of us, right? But I don't recommend it. I do recommend you having adequate support, right? For your grief, okay? You cannot mentally focus if your mind is not clear, right? Who is there for you during those down days, okay? So if you are the only one doing, rocking your ship, like, you know, you're the only one managing everything, who is there for you to wipe your tears when you're crying? You know, like, okay, fine, you could be a number one, you know, a single member, do everything, but you need to have that support, that emotional support, okay? You go to counseling, make sure you find your business and emotional tribe and never let them go. And 90% of the time, your business and emotional tribe will intertwine into one, because you're gonna be hitting them emotional, like, I don't know what's going on, my site crashed. Trust me, okay? 3 is funding. To make money, you have to spend money. I'm gonna say that again. To make money, you have to spend money, okay? Whether you have taken time off from your own job or you're still on a rest and reset of your own business, at this point, it's time to lock in how I'm going to get this funding to help make my business grow, okay? After losing someone you love, sometimes it takes a lot to get back because you don't know, that person could have been running responsibilities, could have been handling finances. So it's a lot of like riffraff to get you back to where you were. If you are at a point that you are possibly not able to proceed with, like, investing in yourself because you're still dealing with finances and, situations with your past loved one, I recommend trying to conquer that first before jumping into something new, because sometimes it sort of just causes more of a ruckus, right? Take this time to ensure you have the tools to build. And if you don't, take a step back and start saving, right? We aren't taking any more losses over here. Make sure you plan and you persecute, okay? No more else, only wins. All right. So now it's 2019 and I have this burning feeling in my belly, right? Because I just want justice for my mama, right? I met with a private investigator and he said to me, and I quote, "You have to make noise if you want to be heard," right? And that sentence stuck with me. So I'm going to claim that as my passion. And I think that can go for anything, like a business model too. You have to make noise if you want to be heard. If you want your business to be seen, you got to post on social media. You gotta just do it. You got to do the work, right? And then Toni Rose Foundation was founded after, just also to bring awareness from death of U.S. citizens abroad, which was my first main goal, and it trickled into grief management and counseling in our community. I became certified with grief counseling in 2020, and I have counseled over 10 people as of that date. That's my funding, all right? In 2020, my daughter, Keanna Nicole, officially joined Kendy's Corner LLC. This is my support. And we began providing interviews and product reviews virtually during the pandemic, just to stay relevant. And in 2021, Grieving Granny was born, right? Which is a children's book co-written by myself and Kendall that helps depict a child's perspective of grief, and helps adults shed, it's a tool that it's an awesome tool for adults to use to help lighten the conversation around grief, okay? So obviously Grieving Granny is based off my mom. It's under the LLC, but it's, intertwined with the foundation. So like I said, I had no idea to know like my path was going to turn like this. And the fact that everything is coinciding is beyond me, but I'm very thankful. This is God's plan. So it's really just about pushing and keeping going, right? Because you never know what's around the corner. And that's Kendall. Okay. So your business is up and running. And despite where you are along your journey, you are doing it, okay? Now you're on this new journey. You have something new to build, right? And look forward to. And you are now in your new normal, right? It's time to adjust to the reality of this new lifestyle without your loved one, and also to adapt to the responsibilities that God has blessed you with, right? Now you have this new, a new business, you have this new baby that you could nurture, right? It's something to look forward to. I have learned that the right perception in life will help you through anything. If you believe your life is hard and like goals are unattainable, then it will be unattainable. If you believe that you are already successful, you have already entered that building, okay? Learning to channel your grief into a positive outlet is not easy at all. And I know my journey may seem like it was a clear path, but honestly, it wasn't. And like I confess, I have no idea how I got here, but it's God's grace, okay? But to keep me totally honest, I would give all of this up if I could get my mother back, okay? But since it's not possible, I am able, and I'm happy that I'm able to honor her legacy with my work. And I know that she's proud of me and looking down on me and happy to see that I'm pushing past my pain every day for her and for my family's sake. Okay. I'm very happy of how far I've come. And I feel like my testimony is just the beginning because I have so much further to go. Thank you so much for listening, guys. I want to just leave off with believe in yourself and know that your angels are guiding you along the journey. Okay. And you miss 100 of the shots you don't take. So keep going, keep pushing. And again, my condolences if you have ever lost anyone thus far, still grieving, know someone that's grieving, my condolences, but know that you are blessed and you are covered. So thank you so much for listening. And I hope this was insightful. Yeah, I did half an hour.
This was wonderful. Thank you so much, Keanna, for sharing, being so transparent. I definitely know this blessed somebody today. If you're on here and you have a comment or a takeaway, you can come off of mute and you can share that. Let Keanna know. I actually have goosebumps. I just feel so inspired by you.
Oh,
and
thank you, Seneca.
it is so amazing. Also, I wanted to announce that Keanna is going to be actually featured next week.
Yes.
Upcoming. You want to tell them about that? What's coming up next?
So next week, I'm at a book event, a book fair event in Miami with Publish Her. So if you guys follow me on Toni Rose Foundation, and I will be posting, I think this is just a website, but I will be posting the flyer soon. If you're in Miami, reach out to me next week, Saturday. It's going to be a vibe. I'm very excited to network with you guys. So
that is awesome. Yeah, Publisher is a book fair for self-published authors. So it is phenomenal, women published authors. So if you're on this and you receive anything today, let us know in the comments. What was your takeaway from today? What is a word that you have? If you're watching this on the replay, also comment, let us know what's going on with you. We're here to support you through building your business. So sometimes it can be so hard if you've lost a loved one to death, if you've lost a loved one to a breakup, to a divorce, lost a best friend, you still are going to experience all those things in grief. So I thank you for coming on here. My name is Seneca Williams. I'm the founder of the Conquer Network. I happen to be a therapist as well as a coach. And most of the work that I do is supporting entrepreneurs in building mental wealth, breaking through their business anxiety, social media anxiety, public speaking, sales, all those things that can impact your business. And we do that here in the Conquer Network. So if you want to see this replay, if you've missed the beginning of it, it will be up in the network. So you'll go ahead and be able to see it there. And I look forward to supporting you all through your business in upcoming events. So stay posted because November and December, we're going to be focusing on two things. Like we're going to be focusing on getting through business without burnout through the holiday season and also how to conquer your sales anxiety. All right. So thank you so much. So let's see. We have some thank you. You are amazing. Great job. So proud of you. We have the takeaways that everyone grieves different. Takeaway, Keanna's a comedian. Yeah, girl, you are. I did not know that about you at all. But definitely appreciate you all and comment. In the network, you can comment, you can talk to each other. Keanna's in a network, so you can @ Keanna and she can see your comments or your questions there if you want to reach out to her to come speak at your event or you want to get that book. All right, you guys, I hope you have a blessed weekend and I look forward to seeing you soon. Conquer your best.
thank you. Have a good one, guys.